They're playing a little bit of, I don't know, what, Keith Sweat.
Is that what they play at the Grown and Sexy Club right now?
Frankie Beverly and Maze, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, hold on. Well, I'm going to let you finish.
You got people that generally look nice.
Yeah, you do.
Ladies got on their heels. Dudes have on their jeans and their sport coats or whatever it is that they wear to the the Grown and Sexy Club. And it's fine. And I think this counts for whatever city you happen to be in. And it's fine. The night goes and maybe it's 12:30 a.m. And before you know it, certain kind of songs come on. Or should I say, before you know it, certain kind of songs are just on. We're talking, I'm in love with the Coco. Look at the flick of the wrist.
Oh, look at the flick of the wrist.
And suddenly, all those women that you saw that had on heels that was just kind of seat dancing because they was too cute. And all those dudes that have on those jeans and sport coats are all kind of on the floor throwing up their old hoods, dropping it like it's hot. You kind of look around at this and you say to yourself, well, what the fuck just happened? Right? Like, at what point did we get from Frankie Beverly and Maze to I'm in love with the Coco?
Well, I think
because you don't see it happen.
I think it's formatted though. Like,
it
you
have
like, because typically they start as a happy hour or around happy hour time.
Right.
And then it'll go until this point in the evening when the young kids show up in their dresses and in their, whatever they got going.
And by young kids, we mean still people over 29.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's the Grown and Sexy Club.
I think it's 20. It'd be 25.
You have to have on loafers or something.
I think it's 25 and up.
Okay, fine.
So then the actual 25-year-olds come in. And then that's when they know to then change the format to the flick of the wrist, because no longer are the people, and you start kind of seeing even some of the people who were there for the happy hour portion filter out as the 25-year-olds come in. But then some stay because I'm here. Why would I go unless it becomes overwhelming? The flick of the wrist crowd, and then because they coming out on the floor and they ready to do the stripper move, and you can only see so much of that.
How many times have you seen what I'm talking about without the crowd necessarily changing? With the same people that was cute an hour ago are now really doing it like they're 14.
What
now.
I will say is that I've had more experience of what you're talking about in, I want to say, I don't know if I had that much of that kind of experience in like New York, up north. I have more of that type of experience down south.
That's, people are not going to like you for saying that. I don't think, you know what? Here's why I don't think that's true. And I don't know the last time that you were in New York. So I don't know if what I'm about to say is true. But the reason why I don't think it's true is because
maybe DC, that would happen in DC. I don't know.
We don't seem to stay, we being people that are that are 29 years old and up, don't seem to stay in our age when it comes to the songs that we hear. We tend to just continue on with whatever else is new, no matter how ridiculous that we may think it is. When that comes on in the club, how many 29 to 38-year-olds are on the floor? And if you see this, you think to yourself, wow, that person that you don't know, right? That person is probably some kind of mid-management, right, at their job. Like, they put on the clothes that you see them in now, and they take their ass to work, and they do an actual job, and they're not, in fact, in love with the cocoa. They're not. They're not. But, man, when that song comes on.
Okay, I'll say this.
You wouldn't know
when it comes to that. I don't know. Different people are brought to songs for different reasons. And I don't think most people are living any kind of lifestyle that's happening in the song.
No, they're not. That's the craziness of it, though, right?
The beat, or it's just the, it has a catchy kind of thing going. So people get into that part of it.
Would you say us as African American people are the only people that listen to songs with destructive lyrics just because the beat's good? Destructive. Because I'm in love with the cocoa. I mean, come on. Like, that's almost as bad as it gets, but that's not as bad as it gets.
I would say no.
No.
Only because hip hop culture is so pervasive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just, it doesn't just affect black people. It affects everybody. And most often, non-black people are the people purchasing.
No.
The stuff.
I understand it from that point, but if we
they love, like, you'll have even those, I know you don't, the social media thing, but you'll have those videos of people, at the games and stuff playing the Bobby Shmurda, song.
That's true.
And non-black.
The Bobby
and just
Shmurda
getting
song
down
did somehow make it into stadiums and arenas. I'm not sure what that's about.
It's hot. It's
right.
hot.
Well, yeah.
It is a hot song. I know the Bobby Shmurda song, and I like the Bobby Shmurda song. I don't like it's a song that if you're at this little gathering you're talking about, right. I would get up. Well, I probably wouldn't get up, because what happens for me is people move toward the floor in such a rush. And they start doing, like, I'm used to certain kind of dancing.
Oh, it gets downright high school.
I'm used to certain kind of dancing, and so I don't.
Nobody's doing the little old school two-step.
Well, and I'm not old school two-step. That's not what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I'm not. Well, I'm dancing to the beat. But it's not gonna be like, I'm not gonna. And I'll probably even do the little dance that goes with the song.
Does your dance have a name to it?
But the Shmurda dance,
so
whatever.
You actually do the Shmurda dance.
I will do that. Okay. I'll integrate that into what into my move, but. What I'm saying is most of the ladies, if you're talking, because I know what you're talking about, you'll rush to the floor, and it gets real raunchy quick.
And these are not people that are young.
Yeah, it gets real
young.
Well, and some are young though.
But
some are 25.
Oh yeah.
But it gets raunchy real quick, real fast. Twitter at DeadFreshCast, and subscribe at iTunes. And so that makes people like me go, well, I like the song, and I'm gonna move to the song. So I might move next to my table. Maybe not. I don't go out on the dance floor, because dancing creates another person wanting to dance with you. And I don't like dancing with other people, particularly because I do too much. I don't stay within a pattern that typically is required to dance with someone else. I don't stay within a pattern. I can switch it up. Now I done turned around. Now, you know what I'm saying? And it's all a mess. So I don't like really dancing with people. But when you go to the dance floor, it's assumed that that's what you want to do. It's assumed that somebody could walk up on you. And then on top of that, the moves that are actually being done on the floor promote that. And I'm not interested in it. Do you dance?
No, I don't dance. But
they don't dance no more.
Nah, yeah, I don't.
They
I
don't dance.
But
I've seen you dance.
Okay, I don't know how long ago that might have been, but fine. I'm sure you did.
You were in New Orleans.
Okay, well then there you have it.
You're pretty good at it.
All right, but that was New Orleans song, so that's good. But so if I open my iPod up, which is what I use to exercise, there would be just the worst, the most evil, worst.
Yes, I do.
Self-destructive.
I call it my ignorant music.
Yeah, it's bad.
I call it my ignorant music. But let me tell you,
that's what it takes to get through.
Yeah,
the stuff that I do.
Right. It's you.
So I'm not coming down on the people that dance on the floor, because I listen to that same and worse.
No,
in my iPod.
For me, yes. Me too.
It's
I
bad.
have it all going on in there. Like if people wanted to say you only should listen to positive reinforced music, I would lose.
Exercise that.
I would totally lose. And I don't. It's not even like I'm exercising to it. I have it in for leisure play. But I use it at certain points in life. Like if I've got to pump something out, or if I have to get my mind right to do whatever it is I need to do, to have a conversation, to whatever it is. If I have to get myself in a space to move in a specific way, I will turn certain music on, and I like it, and I like the beat. I like all that. Some things. Now I am old though. I'm getting old.
No, you just said you are old.
Yeah, but I'm getting old.
Edit that out.
Yeah, edit that out. But I'm getting old though. I really am, because, I used to be able to listen to the, explicit lyric. Like that's what I would find first. I might have heard it, but then I go find the explicit lyric, and that was what it was for me. I was listening. That's the one I wanted. Now I hear stuff on the radio, and like my hitters. I really actually see. This is how I know I'm getting old. I really actually thought my hitters were my hitters. I did not. I'm telling you,
because the first time you heard that was on,
and I was on the radio.
So you had to know that wasn't it.
I thought no, and let me tell you what my mind did. This is how I know I'm getting old. My mind said, "Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. They can play this song at the baseball games and get a lot of money." Which,
to be honest, is even worse than saying what the word really is, because my hitters are people that kill. That's probably what hitters are. But people that kill. But which is worse than what the real song is saying.
But with hip hop, you know what I'm saying? With hip hop, you could or with rap, you should say, you could play that. They play rap in all the stadiums. We could hear Bobby Shmurda in the stadiums. So I was like, they can get a lot of money off this song. This is hot. And then I heard the real version. Mm-hmm. And I went like, oh my goodness. This is, what is going on? And I have to pull myself back from that all the time. Some songs for me can get a little dicey, only because the only reason why they get dicey is because if I'm out, like we're talking about, in a public place, right, someone else may have a different,
completely think that that's what you with,
right. And so that's the only reason why I would pull back, right. Like, look, she love that song and they talking crazy about her, you know what I'm saying? And so look at how she's getting down, she's really into it. So that's what only thing that pulls me back, but it doesn't pull me back because I dislike the song. I might like the song, but all these other folk around here, I am not interested in their knowledge and where they coming from and what they doing in their life and what may lead from this moment of them thinking I like this song in the way that they like the song. So that's the things that pull me back from displaying so much of. It's almost like you have to self-censor in public to help other people know where you're coming from.
That's the point.
I put it on it because I know that some people out there are not well in life. And they don't get that, a person can dance and not actually decide that they enjoy the same thing, that like, it's just because we're all enjoying this piece of art does not mean that I think exactly like you. I just may like the beat.
Are they completely wrong to assume that, though?
No. I mean, yes, they are.
They're completely wrong.
Nobody has ever completely anything, but they are wrong to assume that. They are wrong to assume that because we have been a part of this discourse in music.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How far should we take it? So what you do is stand next to your table and dance. Would it be okay to assume with the other chick who's literally on the floor scrubbing the ground? Would it be okay to assume that with her? Like, how far, at what point can I start assuming that this is what you like?
Twitter at DeadFreshCast and subscribe at iTunes. You know, have a smile on my face, but like, dang, this is fooling. They fooling. But that's to let those people outside of me know there is a line here. I'm not over here scrubbing the ground. You come over here with your foolishness. You need to know what you're coming up to, because that interaction with a dude who doesn't understand that about you, that interaction can be interesting and can be messy. If he's a certain type of dude, if he really thought you was something, and then you walked over there and he walks over to you and he finds out you have these lines and I'm not, whatever you talking about, that's not who I am. He could get upset. He could get, feel like you misleading. Dancing creates all this. I don't know how, but it does.
What do you mean you don't know how? Because the way
he could get upset.
The way black people dance in the club is always going to be misleading. The way anyone dances is misleading. It ain't just black people. It's a misleading thing. It just is. Have you ever seen a fight in a grown and sexy club?
I have. It is.
You ever seen a bunch of grown and sexy people fight?
It is. But see, you keep calling them grown and sexy.
It's the grown and sexy
They're
club.
Just people.
Which is I don't know who started that. I don't know who came up with that.
That's
it just means you old.
No.
It just means you're old.
No, that's not what it means.
It does.
Can I tell you what that actually means? It means 19-year-old who wants to come in here with your tennis shoes, you will be denied admission.
It means that, but it means the 20-year-old is supposed to be in the club, where the 29-year-old
No, it means that. It means
but we got this club for you called Grown. You grown, and we go text. You go text sexy on the back to make you feel better about being old.
No.
You old.
No.
You
the
old.
older clubs use the not line, but when I remember, it started when I remember listening, even though it probably was there when my mother and father were going to happy hour.
I think it's kind of new.
If it's new, to me, it started with, we are excluding a certain crowd that likes to show up and not be dressed.
Right.
And because that typical crowd likes to cause our establishment problems. We typically will have shootings afterwards.
Right.
We typically will have someone say, he got a gun.
Right.
We typically will fights. We typically have to go in and get new furniture because of this crowd. So we are saying, if you can't be bothered to put on some nice shoes that we know you won't fight in, if you can't be bothered to put on, your slacks,
polo boots
or whatever,
and a button down does not change the thug
then
at all.
You cannot come in. To me, it started out as more of it excluded what they felt were certain elements that would not want to get dressed up to come out. But we all know a man will jump through whatever hurdle he has to get to the female.
To get to the chick.
So now it's turned into,
put my polo boots on instead of my J's. All right, I can do that.
Or what is old Clark's?
whatever, right? It always ends up looking ridiculous because you can look at them and be like, yeah, this ain't you, but it's cool.
Right, like you tried to meet the spirit of the law tonight. Cool. But so it's turned into, because like we said, the dudes will do what they need to do to get where they need to go, where the women are. It's turned into this mix of whatever we call it, because it also because the cat daddy came out, because they were like, it's safe now
in their suits.
It's safe, because I know when I go to this kind of event, I ain't got to come out here and fool out with some young buck who's up in here reaching for a gun. I don't have to do that. So he gets to come out. And they get to do the steppers thing. You know what I'm saying? They get to go on and come on out, you know? So that kind of event brings that kind of large crowd. But to me, it started with excluding. So people were getting too hot in the club.
So
in the club.
When you saw the fight at the Grown and Sexy
all
Club,
I could do was with my eyes.
What did you
bucked out?
How does that look? How does
that looks crazy.
With two dudes. I don't know if
I'm about to say
this time
it was women.
Chicks.
Yeah, it was women.
We're gonna have we'll talk about chicks fighting. It's just insane.
It was women.
It was chicks fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was women. Yeah.
The only fight that I've seen was between dudes,
which is neither grown nor sexy.
No, but have you seen that there's typically an armed police officer?
Yes, and that's when you know to turn around.
What is that about? A lounge and a club are not that much different.
Yes, they're very different.
A place for people to dance. There
will be, but a club, when you go into the club, that means that you're not going to really speak. When you go to a lounge, you're going to converse with people.
That's a good line.
The music will be at a level
I never thought of it
that you can say things and have a drink in your hand and maybe talk about what's actually happening. You get to know people at lounges. You don't get to know people at clubs. You get to scrub the ground at the club and possibly get into a fight or watch one. Twitter at DeadFreshCast and subscribe at iTunes. What you're thinking of when you're saying Grown and Sexy Club, if I'm there at 2 a.m., that's a problem. That means I'm waiting on a friend who doesn't want to leave until 2, and I'm not going to leave the friend there by themselves. But typically that.
Why don't y'all do this thing that you come with your friend who's a chick and you don't leave them there when they clearly want to stay and you don't? What's up with that? Like it's more like of a protection kind of thing. You know, like you're not gonna. It's like you wouldn't leave you're female. She's female. Just to be clear, she bought her car. You bought your car.
Absolutely.
So she has her car.
Right. So we can both go at our own whim.
And she does not want to go. And you are done with this night.
Right.
You're done.
I'm done. I would sit there.
You can't leave.
If she did not want to leave.
Until she's ready.
And it's just she and I. And it's no one else. Like it's not another female in the group.
Right.
And I would not leave. I would just sit and I'd have a drink and I would watch them. From? It's not. It's just about knowing that people.
I kind of know.
It's just about knowing
I just wonder that sometimes.
People make it home okay. That you know when they left. It's not like you just left and then text me when you get home. You know, it's not like that. Seems you don't do that. Not if you have a friend. You don't do that with your friend. You would say. You would stay there just to make sure when you guys left, everybody knew what time they left. Everybody's on point. And then you say, text me when you get home. That way you know that your friend made it home. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not. It's just, I know, because you guys, so because anything could happen in your world.
Dudes will let their friend leave with a random chick.
Right.
Don't know what's going on, whatever she's got happening at her house. Don't know what the address. Don't know nothing.
Well, you have to.
And won't hear from them till 2 days later, and we'll talk about that. Like, yeah, they'll see you go with that chick. And that's it.
Well, because typically the thought is that the dudes have more power than women. So, as in strength.
Right. But we should be, the scenario I gave, we should be better because we don't know what that dude is walking into when he takes that chick to her house.
But y'all aren't.
We're not. I'm not sure if we're ever.
Because I think y'all think he can take care of himself. He's good.
That's what we think.
He's good. I ain't. That's a grown man.
That's what we think. And
that's a grown man. I'm not sitting waiting over for that grown man.
2 days later, he tells us he got his ass whooped and he got robbed. We feel a tad bad, but we're just like, well, I don't know.
I told you she was random.
That would only be 10%. Not even that of the times that you have went to some other chick's house, which I don't advise doing. Please don't go to a chick house. Just don't.
Really?
Don't.
Because of the setup situation?
Yeah, because that's a real thing. That's a real thing, and every dude should know.
I feel like that's kind of not a real. It's not
your
as
night
real.
like that. Like if this 10,
but maybe a club chick it could be.
If 10 is talking to you, and you don't normally attract 10s like that, and she came up to you and she's buying you drinks and she's all about you. She ain't focused on. She's been focused on you for 2 hours. Then the wheels need to start turning. Like, okay, if she's down to come to where I stay, then this is 100% good. But if she's telling me to go to where she stay or like her hotel room or something, pump the brakes. Because if 10s don't really be on you like that, you need to know. And that's a real thing. That happens every club. That happens every Saturday in this country. Every Saturday at every club, some dude who knows this 10 ain't got no. I mean, she's a 10 for the club, but who knows that this chick is not his normal night. Like this is an extraordinarily odd night for him. And she's saying, come back to where I stay. You should at least be thinking to yourself, this might be
that's
something.
Odd.
Because I don't just be attracting 10s like that. Or whatever it is that
maybe
you
just
don't
keep the door
attract.
open, but keep
the door open.
How about we have a drink later in the week? Something that you can control, like a meeting you can control to see really where she's at kind of thing. Is that am I thinking that out in the chick way?
You're thinking about it in the chick way,
okay.
but okay. So a couple seconds ago, I said this happens every weekend in this country, and you didn't agree it did.
No,
and
seems like that's a little far fetched.
It's not, because dudes don't tell that if that has ever happened to a dude, he won't tell that story because he knows his nuts ultimately is what got him in trouble. He won't tell that story. He won't. Like, he'll tell that story to his friends, but he won't just make that a thing like, man, these chicks is out here like really just taking dude. He won't, because he knows his nuts got him into that situation. He knows that he freely walked into somebody else's house and didn't know what was on the other side of that door. And when he ended up tied up and robbed, that is embarrassing to a big point for a dude to just get robbed like that by a chick who you should have known better. Dudes don't tell that story. That's why when I said that and you didn't think it happened, that's the reason why you have that thought that it didn't happen. Because dudes ain't gonna tell that story of how they got hogtied and robbed, because they should have thought this out a tad bit more when they were just like, you know what, I'm finna hit that.
Y'all
and that
should
ain't
do
your
better.
normal. That ain't your normal life.
Y'all should do better.
You got robbed because of that, and dudes don't tell that story. You're not putting that on Facebook.
No, you know what?
You're not putting that on Twitter.
He wants stories.
You brought up New Orleans earlier.
Yes,
they were attempting that with me in New Orleans. I told you about that. They were attempting that with me in New Orleans.
Yeah, you said, and I kind of believed you on that.
6 chicks,
but that's like a tourist
chicks is
thing.
Not my normal, and I'm not a bad looking dude. But 6 chicks up on me like that in a night, those numbers is too high. So I got to say, half of that, even 4 out of those 6, that was the game. That was the game. That's nobody's normal night. Or 6 just be all up on you like, hey, what's up with you?
And they don't know you.
That's not part.
But that's
not
a tour like
night.
that. We were in a tourist section.
But we were in the clubs. Doesn't matter what we were in clubs. That's what, when I'm telling you it goes on like that. If 6 totally different
were
people
they saying how okay, how far into their stories did you get? Did you just get quick to the high?
I cut them quick because I peeped real quick. You way too into me too quick. This ain't normal. Gotta go. You ain't taking your time. You ain't saying hi. This is where I'm from. It wasn't
It wasn't any kind of normal conversation.
Way too into me, way too quick. That's cool because I already see where this is headed. Like you going? Yeah, no, come on.
Because like, it could have just been like
with dudes who pay for the hotel room because they know at the end of the night they're gonna make more in robbing people than how much that hotel costs. Right. That's the game. But dudes ain't gonna talk. If that happened to me, I wouldn't tell nobody. I wouldn't tell nobody that story. I tell nobody that story.
So wait a minute. So right now you could be sitting across from me, and it could have happened to you, and I would not know.
Or
right now,
right now that could have.
This could actually have happened to you, and I would, and you would not let on.
The only way that you would know is if I had a story that I told you I got robbed, because I would tell the story that I got robbed. But I wouldn't tell it right. I would tell it in the most manly way possible. I fought. One of them dudes had a gun. And I just, you know what? Cool, man. You got a gun. You can go and take my stuff. I wasn't hogtied. I was standing the whole time. That's how a dude's going to tell that story. Dude's not going to tell.
Y'all got issues. Y'all got to tell the truth.
No one's telling. That's why that happens every Saturday in this country.
I don't know about all that.
Especially, I'm going to tell you this, especially if it's a major city. Especially because you have to know that somebody's always
That means that it's a whole bunch of like dudes are just not thinking right. It's a whole bunch of dudes not thinking right.
That's the point I'm making. Yeah. I'm not arguing that. It's a bunch of dudes that say, oh man, she all up on me. She down to do it. Okay.
We don't think people are smarter at this point. We don't.
No, that's a ring that you could do pretty unchecked. Again, no one's going to tell, right? So that's what you could do unchecked because I don't know why I'm saying all this, but as soon as they rob you, they're gone. So you can't call the cops.
How do you know that?
I just know. You can't call the cops on them because they're not there anymore. And what story are you going to tell? You can't. There's no story to tell. Everybody is already gone.
This means that you have had a friend that's been robbed.
I know people
like in this particular way
used to do that used to do the robbing, that used to send a chick to the club to do that. When I was young, when I was like 14, I knew a group of people that used to do that very thing. And I know somebody who actually told the truth and said that happened to him.
Dang. Did you laugh at him?
No, I didn't, because that's got to be scary as shit.
Hell yeah.
Like you think you finna have some ass, and when you open that door to the hotel room, or and this is the story I was told, or once you get everything off and you're in a compromising position, then 2 or 3 people come out and you already know what it is. And in the case that he told me, they were nice. They wasn't down to just beat his ass, and then they was just like, look, you already know what this is. We taking your car. We taking your cash.
They took his car?
His car and his cash. And said, we out. You already know what this is. Car, cash, phone. Cell phones wasn't that big back when I was hurt. When I heard this story, everybody didn't have them. But he did, and they took his cell phone. Cell phone, car, cash, it was gone.
Did he get his car back?
I don't know.
Twitter at DeadFreshCast and subscribe at iTunes. See, that's the follow-up women know. We ask these questions.
I don't know, but he was a single dude, so it didn't affect his life. It didn't affect his life like that. But when you got 4 or 5 dudes in the room and you are ass out, dang, you're done.
Yeah, your goose is cooked.
And that apparently, and they, okay, if you think about how much time they invested in that one, right? So she picks a dude who's buying drinks, and she says, okay, he looks like this, looks like that, looks like that. I think he might be the one. The investment in time what, 15 minutes to a half hour. That's all it takes to pick up a dude. It takes a tad more to pick up a chick. You got to deal with her homegirls who ain't gonna leave her. Right.
See?
But a dude, it takes.
If you guys had the same kind of organization that the females had, that wouldn't happen to you.
I mean, it's a half hour if she's really trying to sell it. But it's 15. It's, hey, do you look?
Y'all need, okay, so the moral of the story, dudes, is y'all need to be like the females on getting, not overall, but on keeping together, because the clubs are not the place to do what you want to do.
But it's not going to work.
I know. Anyway, so moral of the story is, I'm moraling right now. I'm moraling. Moral of the story is,
we're not gonna wrap.
I want to say the moral of the damn
There's
story.
No moral.
It's a moral. It's a moral here, people. Moral of the story is, if you want to go have sex, go to the club. If you don't want to have sex, or if you want to actually get to know someone.
Why would you start out a moral of if you don't want to have sex? What kind of who would listen to anything else?
Okay, then I messed it up if I said that. The moral of the story is
crazy moral.
If you want to have sex, go to the club. If you don't want to have sex, stay away from the club.
Again, you said the same thing. We're done.